Senator Edwin Sifuna to vie for the presidency, following which leaders allied to the Linda Mwananchi faction have vowed to fight for the registration of the movement as a political party or explore other outfits should the legal hurdle become insurmountable, signaling a parting ways with ODM. Yes, ODM has insisted Sifuna is no longer the Secretary General of the party. Now calls for him being president.
I think
it had not gotten to this point. Yes, we were just talking about Sifuna, Sifuna. He could make a good running mate, but now Sifuna for president. Do you think it's going to be a reality, or is it too premature for him even as a politician?
We spoke with you, I think, a month or two ago, and I said July, August is the holy grail where now coalitions and formations are hardening. So there is no surprise there. The time the late Right Honorable Prime Minister passed on meant that ODM would implode and would not be the same again. And it splitting into Linda Ground and Linda Mwananchi culminated in what now we have. However, from the ashes or from an imploded structure, there always arises different leaders and all that. And I think in the first instance, I think Babu Owino appeared to be an emerging leader, but he regionalized it in terms of to be a successor of Raila within Luo Nyanza. And Sifuna was lacking in the shadow. Then subsequently, what happened is that then Sifuna became the face of relentless opposition against the broad-based arrangement. As the coalition agreement was being signed between ODM and UDA, then where he sat himself signing, it's like he signed under protest. And I think it's only the presence of Baba that kept him in check. And as soon as Baba exited, as he rests in peace, then Sifuna got the moment to bolt out. And that has happened. So subsequently what we have, they have just been taking ODM through the circles, maybe to milk out and to cause as much chaos as possible. It's like you're exiting the house, but you want to destroy it as much as possible, so that the remnants of the house will have a lot to do. And that is what is happening. So it's a matter of time. So it's a fact that indeed they have exited ODM and they are seeking to form their own movement. However, this is where now the problem begins. Once you exit, you have the opposition that has been there. So I try to compare it with the 2002 moment, where you had the Rainbow Alliance. They were an offshoot of KANU. They had been prevailed upon, or they had been defeated by the Moi machinery not to have themselves as the presidential candidate, and Uhuru had already been put. So Rainbow Alliance then shifted, appeared to be rebel KANU team, but it was Raila Odinga led with an iron opposition. The opposition was already set with NAK, with a presidential candidate in Kibaki, with Michael Kijana Wamalwa as a running mate, and Ngilu another leading light. So then it became a push and pull. So I don't know if Sifuna will be able to pull the same thing that Raila pulled, because what Raila then did, he did what we call a political tactician move. Went on lane 2 and supported Nyachae, entered into a coalition agreement, then bolted through lane 3, carried everyone to Uhuru Park. Once they are at Uhuru Park, in the moment, he upstaged what was to be a negotiated agreement as to who becomes the candidate. Because Nyachae came knowing now, I have Rainbow Alliance behind me. But Raila had different ideas. Saitoti and the rest were waiting to be endorsed. Then he said Kibaki Tosha, and everything moved on. Now, Sifuna is facing a similar situation. So that when you see now the Western team coalescing around him, they're just basically trying to create what can be the basis of negotiation within united opposition. The danger with that is that it's two-way. It's a plus for him as an individual, but it brings uncertainties, because if you've seen the last 2-3 days, there's one person who's been completely unsettled with that is Eugene Wamalwa. My thought at first was Natembeya, but Natembeya has fallen in line. Natembeya has chosen, Natembeya was facing the same problem. He ran with this Tawe movement, but he didn't know where to place it. So he realized politics is a bit difficult at the top, so he decided, let me go back defend my seat. So when Sifuna happened, I'm evaluating Sifuna immediately, and let Sifuna be the face. So Sifuna is in the no man's land. When I saw Peter Salasia venting about the indisciplined nature of Linda Mwananchi, it tells you Eugene Wamalwa is Eugene Wamalwa is rattled. So they are getting into a space whereby they will now get into proper opposition. It is a case of now negotiation. DCP is already organized under the former deputy president. Wiper is already organized, as is always the case.
You feel he's even Sifuna is simply heading towards that direction?
There's no other alternative. He will come in. I think they're just forming one block, and I think someone like, you see, he's trying to galvanize the opposition in Western. And something to that, it has also rattled the pro-government Western into action. If you've seen the activities of Moses Wetangula the last 2 weeks, I was even with him in a function in Nandi on Sunday. He has come out guns blazing because now the fight will be from Bungoma and it will spread out to Kakamega. Those two counties will be very critical. Okay. So I think this is a negotiating tactic whereby on 25th, 26th, they will endorse him and then they'll say, now he is our person at the table. So when the united opposition will be sitting on the table, Sifuna would want to sit as a principal. And to be honest, his realistic position is looking for his deputy, not the candidate.
Not the main candidate.
I don't think.
Do you agree that probably it's a bit premature for Sifuna to run for president? Do you agree with his analysis that he's simply muscling up, heading towards the united alternative government?
What we need to understand is that whatever we are seeing on these papers is domestic wars, and as he has rightly put it, the national conversation is too large or too big for Mimi Ndio Sifuna. Let me tell you. Mm-hmm. Being a politician since 1992 until today, I have learned a lot of lessons. Pulling crowd to Uhuru Park, to where, to Mombasa, does not make you the candidate or the president. You don't qualify to become a president because you have a crowd behind you. We normally pull crowds. And we have seen people pulling crowds, but they don't translate it to votes. Yeah. And a good example, allow me to use him because he's the mtumishi wa Mungu and he may not do anything, he may not sue me. This guy was Muiru. I don't know whether it was kuna nuru gizani ama kulikuwa na giza nuruni. I don't know. Something like that. Ilikuwa ni nuru gizani. Pius Muiru. He used to pull crowd.
Big.
He comes to Uhuru Park, packed. He goes to Mombasa, packed. So he saw all those crowds and he said, oh, I can become president. And he announced this country and he threw himself in there. He did not even manage to get a eighth.
A 20th.
A eighth of what he used to pull. So what is happening now, Sifuna is trying to build himself to fit somewhere in the opposition. And I want to tell you, me, I like appreciating people. Whether we are thinking in the same line politically or not, I like appreciating people. These people you see in the opposition, they are not stupid. They know the moment they split themselves, their goose is cooked. So there is no way they will allow. Sifuna will not say, I'm going to run as Mimi Ndio Sifuna. No.